So, welcome to this week's masterclass, and I'm just going to share it with you of what is the insight, lesson, etc. for this week. Because this one, I'm going to actually share a story. It's about an actual event that did happen, and they made a movie about it called The $1 Million Arm. And I was really privileged to watch it while I was in Hawaii in 2012. Christmas Day here we left, and Christmas Day we arrived in Hawaii. And this lesson this week is fear is an illusion, as what you are afraid of is only your separate mind. Now, this is very profound in regards to mystery school because there's lots of acronyms for fear, false evidence appearing real. We actually need a little bit of fear here, such as crossing the road. That's really important so that you look both ways to see if there's a car coming. But sometimes we can be overwhelmed by fear and have 3D paradigm of feelings of overwhelm, anxiety, etc. And in the bigger picture, there is no actual thing. Now, for those that experience that, I'm not saying you don't have it, it's just in the fifth dimension, there is no fear. We understand it's an illusion because what we're afraid of is the separate mind. What does that mean? So I'm going to go back to this movie, The $1 Million Arm. We're in our accommodation. It's raining in Hawaii and it's cold. It's warm in Australia, but it was actually cold, well, for me, cold in Hawaii. Everyone else was on the beach. And we decided that we would watch a movie. And watching the movie, my son said, Mum, I've seen this video, back video times and CDs, DVDs, I should say, $1 Million Arm. You'll love it. It was about a man that went to India, and some of you might have seen it. And if not, you'll probably see it on Netflix or something like that or YouTube. A man decided that he'd go to India and teach some Indians not how to play cricket, but actually to play baseball. And that you can teach anyone to do anything. And so out of a huge selection, there was two people, two young gentlemen that he went, you know what? They're the ones. The training went on for ages and ages. He was mocked by all the other baseball professionals, saying, oh, please, can't do that. Plus, they're Indian, they don't know. It's their second language. And it wasn't a racist thing. It was just a closed-minded thing of, yeah, but baseballers are born and bred into that thing. Fear is an illusion, is what you're afraid of, is only a separate mind. These two young boys who were being trained day after day after day and hour after hour were overcoming their fear and overcoming the illusion of their separate mind. When they threw the ball and pitched it and hit the ball, it was really hopeless, really bad. But they overcame a fear. They overcame the illusion of their separate mind that said, can't do it, it won't work. And the music I played just before this masterclass is actually from the album. And that song is called The First Tryout. There's one day they had all the officials, the people that were going to examine these two guys sitting up in the stadium with the baseball stadium. These two young guys were so nervous. Could they actually do it? Could they pop that ball, like pitch it into the catcher's mitt? There was silence. Everyone was just waiting with bated breath. Could they actually get over the fear of illusion of their separate mind? And all of a sudden, as the first young guy pitched the ball, you could hear the swish of the sound and it's like into the mitt. At the same time, they had a speed gun measuring how fast it was. All of a sudden, everyone stood up and clapped and applauded. Now, when I watched this movie, I was in tears because I love seeing anyone overcome a fear and shine their brilliance. I love the smallest things, whether it's somebody with depression and they get out of bed, whether it be these young two guys that were so nervous and were able to pop that ball because it's getting over the separate mind. And here in this 3D world, we have the separate mind that says, I can't, I just can't. That's our biggest actual disease of the world. It's not cancer, diabetes, blood pressure, any of those sort of things. It's the separate mind. What is the separate mind? It's almost like I'm just going to use my pens because it's all I've got is propped. So here is the absolute mind that says anything is possible. And then we live in the duality of the separate mind, like ego mind that says, no, can't, whatever. It tries to keep us safe. And if we can get over, like the cow jumped over the moon, get over that mind, what happens is that you see the potential in something. And it can be the tiniest little thing. Those that go to Egypt with me, sometimes it's getting into the basket of the hot air balloon. Sometimes it's going into a hot air balloon in the heights. Sometimes it's the tunnels. Sometimes it's even the concept of camping because we camp out in the white desert. It's like, what camping? Sometimes there's all the interviews I'm doing for next year for Egypt. It's like, no, that's it. Not going camping. There's no toilet. Sometimes it can be even that. Oh, hey, there's plenty of toilets, like little mounds and things like that that you can go to. Fear is an illusion. It's all it is, but we want it. Don't throw it away. And what we're afraid of is just that separate mind that says we can't have do. It's not negative. It's just a defensive pattern that the ego mind has started and created. And if you were able to just go, wait a minute. And the way I got over it was by having a stop sign. Because my separate mind took over my mind big time when I was depressed and suicidal. Big time. It ran my life. And so I learned to just have like a stop sign, like stop. Now, today, when separate mind comes in, I take a breath and I embrace it. When we overthink and over intellectualize, which is held in the small bowel and medical intuition, we actually go into separate mind. Separate mind is almost like a little devil on your shoulder, a little angel, and it's the devil that says, no, don't do it. They're not saying that. They don't love you. All those sort of monkey mind stories, which is okay because part of our journey in this 3D world is to, at the same time, connect with the 5D world. From limitation to everything's possible at the same time and marry it together. That's what our high priestesses used to do of Atlantis. So if fear is an illusion and what we're afraid of is the separate mind, what can you do about it? Go for a walk, have some water, journal, draw, put on music, talk to a friend that's going to support you, that's not going to feed the separate mind. Affirmations, visualization, vision boards. There's so many tools out there and people that can support you with those processes. The separate mind isn't here to hurt us. It's just part of the 3D earth world. And in that ego mind, it's just a scared little part of you that once got hurt, lost, or in pain. And so why not embrace it? And today is pretty profound in the mystery school thing. Why? Because we're entering a bigger zone as we go into 2025 energies. It's all about done with that pain, hurt, or loss from yourself. You always tap into the bigger consciousness, bigger than the higher self. It's the absolute, the totality of all reality. And you can choose to listen to the separate mind because we can still learn by it. So when that monkey mind story comes up, oh my God, they don't love us. Oh my gosh, I should have worn that. Oh my God. No, all of those stories. Allow it to be there. But it is a construct of the ego mind, the separate mind. And we're afraid of it. Even though it is in fear, we're afraid of the separate mind because we've allowed it to possibly run our life somewhere, personally or professionally. So why not befriend it? Those that do mastermind or genius program with me, which is 1 month of having me, and that's me contacting you every day, medical intuition every day, and then 4 1-hour Zooms as well. Imagine me harassing you every day. I'm like your separate mind and your future self mind. In that space, we say there's an ego mind and you give it a name and a future self. And you guys can try this at home. The ego mind, what is that name? The one that's going, give it a name right now. The future self, they have already been there. They already know that it's already done. You can call them in as well. But we want to embrace the ego mind. When I teach this in the Genius program, I say, hey, bring it in because it's like a little girl or a little boy part of you that's got lost. Bring them in. Ask them what's happened. What's the matter? Come on. It's almost like being the parent to yourself. And then you integrate the three of the ego mind, the future self, and you to go, wait a minute. That story is from when I was 12 years old or a past life or whatever. Okay, I can step over that. Like the cow jumped over the moon. Step over it. So fear is an illusion as we're afraid of the separate mind. What if I said the biggest fear is receiving? People aren't good at receiving love and compliments. Then our ears and ear chakras start to tune in like a radio to like the old story or the old paradigm, or even sometimes a group consciousness of, oh my God, that's going to be bad. Because in the 3D world, we're taught to speak that way. Hey, did you hear what happened down the street? One of my gorgeous clients who's on the masterclass this morning, he taught me yesterday in the vision board, no, on Saturday at 2025 Energies, Gossip Girl. So thank you so much to that person that's on the masterclass today. Imagine being a gossip girl. It's got nothing to do with girls, but it sounds great. Gossip girl that goes, hey, did you hear what happened over there? And then we spiral down. My mother-in-law used to play that journey as well. And she did it in what's called fear-based love. Oh, just ringing you. This is when there was a landline. Just ring you to let you know there's an axe murderer at such and such a school, which was nowhere near me and nowhere near my children's school. And I really don't want to know. But that fear of illusion overtook her. The separate mind overtook her so much. Whereas for me, I was the cow jumping over the moon saying, yep, that's there. I'm not fearful of the separate mind. I need to have that fear, but I also want to stay in a love space of, I don't want to track that sort of stuff. Hence why I don't watch the news. I do not go, where's my phone? I do not go on what we call the BOM, which is the Bureau of Meteorology to check the weather. I know what the weather's going to do. My hair underneath here will go curlier if it's going to rain. If it's going to be a storm, I get a headache. I've got my own bomb in my own body. Come on. Whereas my husband's like, I just checked the bomb today and it's going to rain all week. Whereas me, when I tune in and I overcome the separate mind and I embrace it, it's like, no, it's not. I can do the washing. And sure enough, it doesn't rain. I can do the washing, it dries. So if fear is an illusion and what we're afraid of is a separate mind, what if you made friends with it? As I said, allow yourself to have an ego name and a future self name. I'm going to tell you mine. My ego name is Gina, Jean with an A. That little girl lived in sheer terror, absolute terror. So frightened, dropped into separate mind big time. My future self is called Crystal. And when I was 8 years old, I knew my name was meant to be Crystal. I was in the teacher's staff room washing up the cups. Now, back then, that was a privilege to go and wash their coffee cups. I don't want to do it now. And so I was washing up the coffee cups for the teachers, thinking I was a good little girl, etc. And I remember at 8 years old thinking, do you know what? My name should be in crystal, because I knew the bigger picture, not higher self. This is beyond higher self. And so when I tap into crystal, if my separate mind wants to overtake me, she's already there. She's been there. She's done it. And she'll say, this is what you need to do. Again, it's beyond higher self, meaning people go, my higher self, it's out there and beyond. It's all right within us. So what if today you've integrated the bipolar part of all of us, because we're all bipolar on some level, and embraced the illusion, embraced the separate mind, not make it scary and gotta get rid of it. What if you stepped away from Gossip Girls? What if you allowed, if there was a monkey mind story to come up, just observe it like a television? So it's like, there goes the story. Oh, there it goes. Feel the emotions. Take a breath. For those that done medical intuition, tap and breathe. Do a grid, a special grid for module 2. And what if you said, there's a separate mind. Hey, come along. It's okay. Rather than being frightened of separate mind. And this wisdom has been written about in all the ancient books: Course in Miracles, Book of Enoch, the Quran, the Bible, the Tao. It's been called everything from the devil. Some people have been medicated for it. When I worked in a psych ward, not for very long, my training is general nursing, but sometimes we'd have to go and help out on the psych ward because they were short staffed. And I watched some of those patients and I'd go, well, she connecting to their amazing future self, but they were told that they needed to be medicated because they were manic. And then that dropped them into the separate mind. And sometimes we all go through that process, especially when it's full moon, lunar tick. When I was nursing, and the Alzheimer or dementia patients would be climbing out over their beds and out the door and whatever else. What we're actually tapping into is the greater force within ourselves. So fear is an illusion. We're afraid of the separate mind. Make it your friend. It's okay. Have your separate mind, your future self, and you all go to a party. And as I said, easy tools. You put on music, like especially if it's loud doof doof, when that's happening, you can't do anything but get into the beat. Those that just did the vision board with me yesterday. You go for a walk, you actually walk the story out, or exercise. You go to the gym and you start like lifting the weights or whatever, it's overcoming that illusion. So let's go back to the $1 Million Arm movie. So as all the officials are in the stadium and they hear that, they burst into tears, because that young Indian gentleman, the first one, and then the second one, knew that they'd overcome the fear in the separate mind that anything is possible. And all the officials were like, oh my gosh. And what they ended up doing is those two gentlemen created softball teams, baseball teams in India, and trained the boys in India to play baseball as well. And they did really well. And they overcame a fear and separate mind of coming out of the slums of India to live their best life. It's a beautiful story. So make friends with your separate minds. It's okay. It's okay to have those stories. And remember, maybe a little bit of fear too. That's okay as well. So let's go to Golden Hearts and sharing. If you'd like to put it in the chat with a Y, that means yes, I can share it if you're not able to unmute yourself. Because when we all share together, we all learn, and it's like a big aha moment. And it's a golden heart, because gold is the color of alchemy, and then we're dropping into our heart going, So we'll go Lou, Sandra, Cherie, and Andrew. I think Lou's typing. Let's go to Sandra. Sandra.
Okay, sorry, I missed that bit. So, I'm sharing what's my golden heart. My golden heart right now is being surrounded by loving friends to step out of my comfort zone and be who I was. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to Cherie. Can you unmute Tilly to share? Or you can type. I might go to Andrew while we're waiting for Cherie.
Good morning. Yes, the reminder, the golden heart, is to step into the fear, and just to remind me, and just doing this walk this morning reminds me just to go on a physical walk when I feel stuck in the fear. So thank you. Just a simple strategy.
Thank you, Andrew. Absolutely. I'm just going to read some of them out. We've got Laverne, thank you. Fear of receiving really resonated. Yeah, we're in December. It's the time of receiving all the deliciousness. It will be on my awareness this week. Fantastic, Laverne. Pauline's got morning, G. My golden heart is to do it, whatever it is, even with the fear. And I like the false evidence appearing real because that's all it is. Somewhere the brain has gone, but really it could be great fun. Lou's got planning to allow myself to receive more, letting go of that fear so that we can have fun in that space. And some of you that have been on events with me, whatever it is, online, offline, or even this, the fear of even like being on the camera, it's like, oh, what was I afraid of? So thank you. Let's go to Kim, Leona, Monique, and Ruthie.
Good evening, everyone. Mine is I can step over my story.
Yeah,
That was really good.
definitely, definitely, definitely. Just like the cow jumped over the moon and the cow jumped over the moon. Guys, what can we do? Let's go to Leona.
Morning, everybody. Yeah, Jen, you've just explained everything that was going through my head when I woke up this morning. I had the separate mind because of the vision board yesterday of what if I actually completed that? So it was a fear of what happens if I actually get everything that was on my vision board.
Yeah, what happened, Leona? It's a Bazinga one. Yeah, what happens for those that don't know? We had 45 people on a vision board yesterday. We've got another one next year, 21st of September. It's on the website. What happens if I get everything on my vision board? It's just a case of open receive, and that's a separate mind. We're just open to receive. So thank you so much. Monique.
Morning, everyone. Yeah, mine is similar to Leona, actually. It's just that recognition that the separate mind can actually be our downfall, but it's good, but we also need to be aware of it so that we can rise and be our authentic self.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Let's go, Ruthie.
Good morning, everybody. My golden heart today was profound too. So it was about embracing the separate mind, separate self. The Gossip Girl, take the person or the identity by the hand and embrace them and take them on the adventure that life can be.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You guys are amazing. We've got, and I'm not sure what Lenovo means, but it says, my mantra is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Thank you for the clarity. My pleasure. Let's go, Tim and Donna.
Morning. Mine was fear is just an opportunity for growth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you. And Donna's gone, it is done in my future self. It is. Now, I'm explaining it in a way that our separate mind understands. And the way we understand it on 3D, and I'll finish Donna's sharing in a moment, is to compartmentalize, to put it in a box, because that's very 3D. And if I put, you're a dentist, in a box, suddenly you know what a dentist is. Or Jean was a nurse. I'm in a box, you get a picture. And so the way I describe it, which isn't actually how it is, but it sees this way in 3D world, is that there's like an ego self, like the devil up here, and a future self here, but they're all part of us. And when we go, I'm going to go to my future self or access that, which sometimes people say, it's actually already there. And now that you guys are aware, you can drop into it straight away. You don't have to access it. It's like, oh, all of a sudden it's like ego self, future self, there it is. So it is done in my future self. I choose not to be my story. Fear is an illusion, and in medical intuition equals small bowel, overthinking. Yes, embrace my fear and the illusion. And Donna's great as well. All of you are amazing. That's why we share. When we embrace the illusion, so the illusion I can't have, especially those that did the vision board yesterday, I can't have that thing. Well, who says I can have that thing? Like on my vision board, when I put on there in 2022 vision board, which is still on my wall here, taking people to Greece, taking people to Egypt, working in Vanuatu, that little separate mind was still there, even though I put it on the vision. It all came to fruition. It's just, wait a minute, it's just illusion. And that's why I love affirmations, and I've used them for many, 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 many years before I even knew who Louise Hayes was. I learned about it when I was suicidal and reading a book from a library. Can you imagine going to the library now? And one of the affirmations is, it always works out. You guys hear me say that. It comes to me. I get what I want, which is not arrogance, is knowing that I get that. I will have that. It comes to me. No more separate mind up I can't have. But I've also played that separate mind big time when I was younger. So let's just go back to the lesson. And you know that these images are in the Facebook group, Let's Just Go with Jean Shen, that you can have them as a reminder for the day, the week, or for however long. Fear is an illusion, as what we're afraid of is only that separate mind, and embrace the separate mind, because it's not there to hurt us. It was created in a duality that we live in this 3D world to go, protect you, I'll protect you, whatever it is. Sometimes people are frightened of heights. I had a client many years ago, frightened of heights, because they remember flying from Lemuria, but they also crashed. Another person was frightened of heights because they remember being an eagle from a past life. It's just an illusion. We're not that pain anymore. You're already perfect, just in different stages of remembering. That's in every book I've written. So have the bestest week ever. Embracing the fear, false evidence appearing real. Embracing the separate mind. Go and do something outrageous. Who knows? Maybe even outrageous. Go receive something delicious. Have the bestest week, beautiful souls, and I'll see you next week. Bye.